We're good. Okay, so this is what we're going to do at the beginning of class every time we meet, which is welcome to GDP 113, typography. Today is August 27th. We meet every Monday from 1 p.m. prompt to 4 p.m. I always take roll. I care that you're here. Make sure that I have your name logged on my Excel chart for attending today. Otherwise, when I go home tonight, I will drop you from the class if I don't see that you have attended, okay? The other way I will double check that you've attended is you will upload our assignment that we just did. So I took out my cell phone, I took a photograph of my sign, I edited my sign here, right there. I cropped it, right? I edited it. And then tell me your name in the back with the blonde hair. Miles. And Miles, what I'm going to show you is you're going to email it to yourself so you can access it on the computer right now while we're in class together. And so this has been downloaded. I don't know if you're familiar with Mac computers, are you? Yeah, okay. So if you locate the downloads folder somewhere here, I'll find my image, which is this, and I'm going to drag it over here so I can see it. And what you do when you're in Canvas, when you log into Pipeline, have you done that successfully yet? Okay. When you log into Pipeline, you will get to our home page right here in Canvas, okay? Do you know how to get to that? No. What's the class isn't showing up? Oh, what do you know? Let's get out of student view and see if it shows up. Does it show up now? Okay. This is the view I have. It might not be your view. So when you log into Canvas, do you know how to get to that? Through Pipeline, there'll be a little button that says Canvas. And then when you get to Canvas, so just pay attention for the moment because I'm going to stop talking for a minute for everybody. Then you're going to see these little icons for each of your classes, okay? And we're 113, so you click on it, it's going to take you to the home page for the class. And your first assignment is right here. You'll find it under Exercises, not Assignment, Type with Personality. You can click on it here, or you can go to Assignments, and you can locate Exercises here under Assignments, Type with Personality, and you click on it. And you upload like you do anything on the planet, which is, well, I think to upload, I'm going to have to be a student, which now takes it off the screen. So forgive me, that's not going to work to demo it. But there's going to be a button that says upload. You're going to locate this, and you're going to upload this assignment. All right? You can, I think it might only allow you, oh, no, I made it. You can upload, it says here, file types. You can, most of your files you will always upload in this course will be PDF files. I'll show you how to create them. But you can upload this as a JPEG, which is what your cell phones are probably taking snapshots as. And just upload it. And then once you've successfully uploaded it, you'll see a little window that pops up and says submission or file successful. Okay? So I'm going to pause right now so all of you can get this off your plate and be done and upload, and we'll see if anybody has any trouble accessing their Canvas pages. Yes?
I think that the page for this class is not published yet.
Seriously, the page for the class is, which is why student view didn't show up?
Yeah, I can't see it on mine either. It says that, I'm enrolled in the class. It just says that if it's published and this class is not published.
That's possible. Anything's possible. Okay, refresh your screens and now tell me what you see. Good? Thank you. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to pause my video while you guys do this. So John, I don't know how to pause, but we'll find out, right?
Yeah, I don't know what'll happen.
Let's see.
It may
You
not
might-
have a pause.
I think it doesn't have a pause. I think it just stops it. So we're
Maybe,
not
I
gonna
don't
pause
know.
it. We're just
Let's-
not- we're
let's see
not.
if it's a pause under file. No,
I think no is the answer. We'll leave it, and you can shorten it.
I'll merge whatever.
Okay.
Once you make-
Okay. This should take you no time, everybody. So I'm gonna give you like 5 minutes for it. Nothing like getting an assignment accomplished super fast, right? Oh, you don't remember it? You gotta change your password. If you don't successfully upload it while you're in class, you can upload it before the end of this evening, okay?
It says to press the escape bar to bring up the recording bar, and there's a pause button. It doesn't look good. I don't think it's doing it.
Well, we've got lots of megabytes recorded.
Yeah, it's recording now.
So we're good. Oh, I see. But now I'll put it down here instead of up here. Anybody need a hand? Okay.
To do it this evening when I get home, so I can change my passwords. Can't again.
It's all progress.
I've never used Canvas before.
It's all moving things forward. Eric, will you tell me when you're done?
Mhm.
Please. You're going to be my measure for accomplishing this. You done?
This is a good way to get the kinks out of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's also a work. I see this as a workflow thing. Yeah. You good? All done?
Do you know if anyone's coming in here when we leave?
I'm sure of it. Because you know what? I'm not sure of it. I don't know.
So we may be in here because somebody's in over there now.
Yes. On the door is the schedule.
I'll take a quick look. We'll tell, I don't know what the compile's gonna be like on this.
Yeah, I think it's not going to be fun.
All done.
Okay. Anybody not completed?
Besides-
Okay, one more minute. If you don't complete it here today, you can complete it tonight at home. if you're having trouble with it, I now have a screen to show you how to submit. So you choose a file to upload. I'm on my upload screen. I go to my desktop, I locate my image. It loads, you'll see the name of the image uploaded here of the file I've chosen, and I submit my assignment. And then I'm going to get something in the corner here that says submission submitted, and it shows submission details. There's also a comment screen here where you can write comments like hey Vicki, great class. Really had a good time. Put your instructor in a happy mood when they grade your work. Write something nice. When I taught online and I didn't, well, Faith, where are you? Oh, she walked out. When I taught online, it's very fun to have students who you don't get to see face-to-face write you notes because you get to know them. Okay, everybody good with this?
I just have one question. My picture is a
JPEG, it should load. It'll be fine. It'll load.
It says it's this file type is another contract.
Oh. You know what? Close it up. Or actually, double click on it. Now go to File in the upper left corner and go to Export and export as a PDF. It'll give you a choice.
Oh, yes.
So export as a PDF and then you can upload it as a PDF. And now you're going to rename it as a PDF. It needs to say PDF at the end of it.
Yes.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay, close your thing. You know where you put it somewhere. Find it. And then submit it.
By the way, I got my Creative Cloud renewed.
Your what?
My Creative Cloud,
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
For cheap?
well, for $20 a year.
Yeah, a year. I don't know how you do that. I didn't even think about that. Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay, if I could have everybody's attention up here now, I'd love all your cell phones put away. There was this huge email exchange campus-wide, by the way, between all the instructors about what to do with student cell phones and what a problem it is. My experience is, and I will tell you this outright, is that it's never a problem in this classroom because everybody would know it would be discourteous to use your cell phone during class. The instructor might think that you're interested more in something other than what's going on in class if you were using your cell phone, hypothetically speaking, right? So stash your cell phones, don't leave them on your desk. I do notice when you casually glance to see the message that pops on your screen. I do notice when you casually use, texting, okay? I'd really appreciate if you keep them away. So I'm sure I won't ever have to ask that again. I know sometimes there are certain circumstances that arise where if something is an emergency for you, let me know. If there's something that's really an emergency and you need to leave the classroom for it, it's up to, that's up to you. You're all adults. If you need to use the restroom, you never need to ask. Just please take care of what you need. The class is long. I tend not to give breaks, not because I don't want you guys to have breaks. Sometimes I just become a locomotive and I'm focused on something and I don't notice the time passing. Usually, I don't. Sometimes, hang on one second. It's Mia, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I notice that you all look like you're on drugs because you're like hanging in, you can't keep your eyes open and you're like, oh God, Vicki, please. So then I do notice that and I say, let's take a break. So Mia, what was your question?
I was just curious if, on average, you run till the end of the time? Because, I've had a lot of teachers with, longer classes that'll kind of let you out, almost an hour early if you get it done.
Well, I think my answer is no. Do I do that? The answer is probably no. Elliot, what's your memory of me?
I didn't hear the question.
Do I?
It
It depends.
It really,
You've
like,
had
towards
both
the end
from
of the
me.
semester, like if we're working on projects or something.
It depends.
It just
It depends. You know, like I said, there's so much to pack into the semester. Here's how I work, and now where we're headed with all of this is I'm going to give you an overview of the class, okay? So to answer your question directly, so I don't forget it, no, I don't have a standard. Like if you have to schedule work, like I have some students who have to go to work after the end of class, or they want to make a dinner plan or something. Can you count on me to end class early? Never. That's my answer for you. Okay? That is my answer. Oftentimes I will go to the last final minute. Oftentimes you guys will be so happy to be here or so engaged in the moment, you'll be happy to go to the last final moment. If I'm done or we're done, I don't hold you captive. Sometimes the way class works, for good and for bad, is let me go over the class. But where I was headed with this is the way class works is most of the work you do will be all done outside of class. This is considered a hybrid class. The class meets for 3 hours once a week, but the class has many more hours outside of class. And the class, I think I said to you, is kind of what you put into it. So for a lot of you come with skills up your sleeve already, which is nice because you've already got some software skills up your sleeve, under your belt, is what I want to say. Some of you are going to have to learn software, and I will tell you it's a challenge to learn software. This is not a class that teaches you software. This is a class like I will demonstrate what I consider efficient ways for you to work in the software. That's really how I see it. And I'll explain it as we go so you'll get a feel for it. And I'll show you creative things that you might not know to look. My greatest frustration about learning software was I don't know the question to ask because I don't know what it can do. Anybody ever had that frustration? Like, how do I know to say, does it do this? Or how do I know how to get out of this little corner I'm in with software because I don't know the right words to use to find out how to do it better. So hopefully what I will benefit all of you, regardless of your skill level, regardless if you're totally a rock star efficient in InDesign or Illustrator, doesn't matter. Hopefully I introduce you to stuff that you find really valuable. That's my intention. And those of you who are new to, for example, InDesign and Illustrator, these are the softwares we primarily use, and Photoshop. You will learn skills that are more advanced on day one, because I think if you're going to learn a software, learn it well from the beginning. Why start in little baby steps? Like just learn well fast, right? It makes you more efficient, makes you smarter, makes things look better. That's my philosophy about it, okay? So the way the class is organized is this. We have, I keep an external website. Not hard to locate what the external website is. What I did is I was on the homepage in Canvas. Right at the top it says, click I Love Typography. It takes you to this masthead and it says, click the masthead, click the banner, and it's going to take you to this external website, which is victoriatorf.com /graphic design 113. And I do this because I've taught here so long. I've learned that Canvas or Moodle or whatever the interface is can go down and there's nothing more frustrating than not getting access to what you want. So this is what I consider my back door to be able to access things. What this doesn't provide you with, what it does not provide you with, it does not provide you with Canvas upload, right? You can't upload assignments from here, but you can access all the lectures and the instructions for the assignments for class, okay? That being said, if you go to the upper corner right here, it's going to tell you the syllabus about the class. So let me tell you a little about the class and the way it works. And feel free to interrupt me and ask a question, okay? Feel free to. One time I had a hearing impaired student in my class, and she had somebody, you remember this? She had somebody record, transcribe, not record, transcribe my lectures. And she says, the woman who was recording them, transcribing them, said, I speak so fast, I speak over 100 words a minute, and she couldn't keep up. So once I'm on a roll, you got to bring me back down. Or if English is your second language and you didn't understand me, have me repeat it, okay? I apologize. My intention is, I am only a good instructor, in my opinion. John is only a good instructor, in my opinion, if all of you succeed. That's our intention. We wish for you to do well. That is our goal. We wish for you to become inspired and learn and derive joy from something that we both really, really love. Okay, I'm a graphic artist because I love this stuff. I've been doing it so long and I never tire of it.
And if you do miss something, you can always go back to the recorded lecture and not only hear what you said this first class, but in the
Okay,
previous
so
five
here,
first classes.
so here you go. Come on up here and do your thing, John.
So on Vicky's splash page, we have archive of lectures, which takes you to a WordPress site that I archive the lectures on. Actually, the lectures are archived on YouTube, but they're cataloged in here. So this is the last class of the last semester, is the last recording we have up. We can go back. This is the archive. This is all the classes that we've recorded. So going back, the
So why
first,
don't you find an August 26th class?
how about January 23rd? That's
Yeah,
the
there you
last
go.
first class.
Okay.
So this is, you can see right here, there's some of the same stuff that you were looking at today. And under features, I have lecture highlights, which I categorize by subject, the online structure of the class,
Okay, you all did terrific with your first assignment. What I'd like to do for the rest of the class is give you a
and further information is topics that we've discussed in class, and I know maybe of a resource that expands on it, and I'll put it under this topic or heading. So any questions about the archive?
Has anybody ever taken one of my classes and used the archives? Faye, is that you? Is that- Oh, Mary Kate.
Yeah.
How, did you find them useful?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it for us and tell us how you found it useful?
Well, if you miss a class or something, you can really catch up and get the full class
Yeah.
just by rewatching it and learning what everybody else learned in the class that you missed.
Oh, thanks for
Not that
saying
you
that.
want to miss classes, but you
Yeah.
do.
You know, thanks for saying that. You know, there was just a little aside. Teachers used to have a conversation with John and I about, why would you record your classes? No student's going to come to class, right? If you can catch a recording, why come to class? Well, there's quite a few reasons, in my opinion, why. First off, if I'm that tedious and boring, you're never going to watch the lectures anyway. And when you come to class, it's really not about me, because we do lots of critiques and feedback in class. It's very personal to each of you, so you each learn what's appropriate and authentic for you during class time, and those don't get recorded. So for example, if you do a project, we'll put them on the wall. You'll come in with your project in work in progress, not completed, and we'll critique it, where you're going to take notes. A lot of students, this is when you take out your cell phones, a lot of students will record their personal critique, so they hear what feedback they get, so they don't forget how to improve their work, right? So, you know, we have these amazing technologies, these beautiful technologies. Faith, right? in 111, did you use any of the recordings from the lectures?
Yeah, pretty much every time I did an assignment, it was just always on that page.
Was it useful for you?
Oh yeah, super useful. It really walks you through every assignment that
Yeah.
that you had to do. So
Well,
it was
poor Faith, truthfully. Faith had recordings from probably the year like
2012.
18. Yeah. No,
That's when
yeah.
we started.
I was gonna say like 1812, to be honest, like a million years
That's
ago.
so funny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Well, thank God. I'm really glad because some of them are really, really dated and the software is really, really
Yeah,
old.
well, the only thing was that it was still Moodle.
It was
and-
still Moodle,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And I refer to things that are dated. And I babble. You can already tell I babble. I'm sorry. And because of that, sometimes you have to slog through stuff. And Mary Kate said it's nice to have the lectures. I'll get students who do tell me they're missing class, which I would like to know and I appreciate. And then they'll say, "What'd you do?" And I'll say, "Here, go to the video, and you can catch up, so you know that you're not going to really fall behind." Yeah, John.
This might be a good time to give the disclaimer.
You disclaim. Oh yeah, you do the disclaimer.
So occasionally, you may say something that's recorded that you don't particularly like the idea that it's public, because these recordings are available to the public. Now, they're not indexed under Google. If you look up this class in Google, you should not find it, because I have a no follow in the header for the webpage. So it's not indexed, but it is public. So if you ever say anything and you decide you don't want it in the recording, you can let me know and I'll redact the recording.
Okay. Any questions about the recordings or the archives? Yeah. Okay. The benefit to you for old old class archives, like John was saying, is sometimes I will have students who really are into things go back to a parallel class from a previous semester, because the questions that you bring to class demo different things. Different students bring different things to class. So each class, although the projects might be the same, the feedback might be really different. So you might learn something fresh if you had that kind of life energy. I don't know if I would have that kind of life energy if I were you. You're all so busy, but it's something to keep in mind if you're unclear about something. Okay? All right. So now, any questions? All right. So I'm on syllabus. And basically, I don't need to read it. You can read it all yourself. In class, we are going to work with typography. We primarily will be working in InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, and Acrobat Professional. All of your work gets uploaded as PDF files. I find that through the semester, our class flow shifts. For example, next Monday, we don't have class. It's Labor Day, so you already have a vacation. So you're already not here for 2 weeks, right? But it doesn't mean you're off the hook for 2 weeks of work. So I want to get you launched. So in those 2 weeks, you feel capable and productive. So Mia, to answer your question, since you're not here for 2 weeks, I'm going to try to lay the groundwork today. So when you walk out of here in an hour and 12 minutes, you feel like you know how to move forward. Okay? That's my intention. For those of you who are not proficient or familiar even with InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, each of you as a Santa Barbara City College student has a subscription to lynda.com for free. And it's pretty amazing. Is there anybody unfamiliar, doesn't know about lynda.com? Okay, lynda.com. So because I'm logged into Pipeline, okay, I think that all I have to do is go to lynda.com with a Y. And lynda.com got bought up by, and I can sign in. And I'm going to sign in with, see this? Sign in with an organizational portal. I also think, actually, let me try and make this easier. Let me see if I'm sending you down a rabbit hole that's not necessary. So I'm signing into my Pipeline. I hope I know what it is.
When you click on that sign in with portal, it'll pop this up.
Well, that's what I think it does. Do you see it? Am I missing it? I thought it had a lynda.com link for you up here. Maybe it does under Canvas? Oh, because I'm in student view. All right, I'll go back the way I was, but you guys will find it. I didn't mean to close that. So if you go to lynda.com, click the sign in here. You don't have to sign in. You sign in with your pipeline portal. So I sign in with my organizational portal, which would be
SBCC.
Santa Barbara City College, and I continue. And I think I'm automatically logged in. See, they know my name. So I'm automatically logged in because I've already been logged in through Pipeline. It knows my Pipeline account. It knows my Pipeline password. And that's how I log into lynda.com. What was your question,
Yeah, I was
Faith?
just gonna say that it's under the pipeline student resources and then Linda's on the.
Okay. So under student resources.
It's on pipeline, yeah, and then you go to student, there's home, and then right next to it where there's student. And then below that, there's student resources. And then Linda's on the right-hand side, and it'll pop up with all of your stuff, or it should log you in rather.
Let's see. I've freaked everything out here. Okay, so you said student resources. So I have teacher. So
Probably
resources.
Yeah, it would probably be there. And then on the right-hand side.
Oh, here you go. You guys all see it now? All right. So when it gets you to lynda.com, every software we're using, there's beginner courses in. I mean, the resources are wonderful. Has anybody used it and benefited from it? Nobody? John has. Mary Kate has. It's pretty amazing. So if you're struggling with software and our videos of our class lectures weren't helping you, use this resource. It's pretty great. All right? It'll help you. All right. So there's lynda.com. Thank you. Thanks, Faith. Okay. Each of you is required to have this book called Type Rules. You could buy it at the bookstore. You could buy it online. It's a digital electronic version, and you can buy a used version. It's pretty inexpensive. There are quizzes in the class that come directly out of reading the chapters of this book. Okay? So you will need the book. You can't get away without having the book. Grading is based on a percentage scale. Exercises carry less weight than projects. There are, I think, only 3 or 4 big projects in this class, so they're very heavily weighted if you figure out the percentages. And there's 1 large final project. And of course, participation is graded in this class. Your participation and your presence and your participation comes in a variety of ways, which I'll introduce you to. I'm moving through this fast because I realize how much time we have left. All of you should have your own personal subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud. Is there anybody who does not yet have a subscription? Okay. Adobe Creative Cloud is a student subscription, is $19.95 a month, monthly, and you get any Adobe software under the Creative Cloud umbrella to use, and it downloads directly into your computer and updates for you. If for some reason you're nervous about taking this class and you're like, I don't know if I like this, I don't know if I want to do it, you, I believe, can download a 30-day trial subscription.
I think it's 10 days now.
Oh, 10 days now? No. Yeah, they don't let you take a breath. Yes, tell me your name again.
Courtney.
Courtney.
Yeah, you can also just access it on the computers here in the lab without buying it, which other teachers have said.
Yes, thank you for bringing that.
But you can't work on it at home in that case.
Yeah, so Courtney's right, which I was going to get to. The glass doors in this lobby, the glass doors over there is the Digital Arts Center. They have specific hours they're open. I don't know what they are. I'd like to say 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
They're
roughly.
shorter each term.
Right. And they're Monday through Friday. They're not weekends. I have found a direct correlation to students who do not have their own software and their success in the course, because the course requires so much outside time. It would really tether you to a computer in the DAC lab if you don't have your software on the computer at home, okay? So I really strongly encourage you to subscribe to Adobe Creative Cloud, all right? Like I said, do a trial, test it out in the DAC lab. Also, the libraries now, I think all of the libraries now have Adobe Creative Cloud, and I think they have longer hours. So you're not limited any longer to the DAC lab, which is great. That's great. And they do, I don't know the other library hours, but they do have Adobe Creative Cloud. Yeah, Courtney.
One other thing I found last semester is I worked from a small laptop, and so I paid the subscription, and I found that it was like nearly impossible to work without buying a mouse and then a larger monitor to
Yeah.
connect, because
It inhaled your screen.
yeah, I mean, it was this big, and then you're doing everything on the little finger.
Touch the trackpad.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, you'll find your workflow for what you're comfortable with for each of you. This class, if you don't know the software, I know I asked each of you what you do and don't know. I ask you that so I know how to teach to support each of you. You are not expected in this class to know the software. If you don't know it, though, do understand you're going to be putting in some time outside of class getting your arms around it, okay? Told you about attendance. Oh, back up, and then back up some more. I had a student fall semester. I always tell this story. Mary Kate's probably already heard it, so has Elliot, which is, I had a student in a fall semester. I tell all of you to create backup resources. There are many free ones. Dropbox, you get 2 gigabytes of backup free. What's the one you love, John?
Creative Cloud.
Oh, you could back up to Korea. That's true. Adobe Creative Cloud, you can sync your work to the cloud wherever you go. Once you've logged into your Creative Cloud account that you have paid for, you can download your work on any computer that has Creative Cloud and work on it actively.
And every time you save it, it's saved to the cloud.
And every time you save it saves to the cloud. I back up my work multiple ways. I find that I lose drives. I lose flash drives. My big multi-terabyte drives break down. I've lost all kinds of things. I'm a professional, graphic design professional. I have a drive called a Pegasus RAID, which has 4 drives that synchronously write to all 4. So, and at one time, 2 drives will always have complete backup. So if a drive fails, I've got a backup to that drive. And I pay, because I need so much storage, I pay to CrashPlan to back up mirrors of all my computers. So why I'm telling you this is you never know what's going to happen. A computer could crash if you work on it at school. How are you going to transfer files from working at school to home computer and creating a sync? The other thing is, like I said, I had a student once take the train down to San Diego to go home for Thanksgiving. His final project, which he had to upload for publishing and printing, was due Thanksgiving weekend, and he was going to send it off to the printer for class. And he fell asleep on the train with his backpack under his legs, with his laptop in his backpack. And when he woke up, his backpack was gone with his computer, with all of his school's work, without any backup. And my heart went out to him. Nobody wants that to happen to anybody. But unless you've uploaded your work into Canvas by the due date, I can't grade it. You get that, everybody? So that's my it can happen to you warning of, what can happen. Or another student who spilled Coke on his laptop, and, the laptop was getting repaired because the drive was okay, but the keyboard was not usable, and he took it to the Apple Store right at finals time, and he didn't have what he needed. So those are my little warning stories to you guys, okay? Do email me if you need anything at this pipeline address right here. And if you have special needs, if you have any learning disabilities or physical disabilities, there you go to the DSPS office. Their phone number's right here, and they will discuss any special accommodations you need, and they will notify me if there are any. That being said, let's talk about our class and your quizzes. Your quizzes, I tend to forget to tell you to take them. So I recommend to every single student, take every deadline, plug it into the calendar on your phone, put an alert and a reminder a few days before something's due so you don't miss your deadline. Quizzes, for example, are open a specific window of time, and once that quiz closes, it does not reopen. When you take a quiz, it is chapter work, chapter reading from our textbook and from some of our lectures, but our lectures always vary. And you can take the quizzes twice. It will log, so they're all multiple choice, some varying the number of questions you can see here from 15 questions to 30 questions. And you can take the quiz, multiple choice, and then what you missed, you can retake, right? I mean, you retake the quiz, and it will automatically log for you the highest grade that you've taken, all right? And the reason I bring that up, because I don't know any student who has struggled with this. You take them at home, it's open book, you take it anytime you want. They should be stress-free. The entire intention of the quizzes is to encourage you to read the book and gather information about typography that might interest you. Okay? Any questions about that? All right. So your first quiz, let's see, quiz number 1 is due on September 3rd, which is Labor Day weekend, right? So it's due by next Monday. So this week, crack open the book, take the quiz once or twice. You don't have to take it twice if you got 100%. Okay, you all got that? Don't tell me, hang on. Juan, yes. The book I do believe is in the library. It's a really good question. I do believe it is in the library. Yes. It is available online also. And it's a pretty economical book. You can buy it used too. You might like it. Most students I know like to keep it because it inspires them. Okay. Tell me your name. Andres? Is that right? Brock.
Yeah.
Brock.
I found it free online, but if you want to actually get the book, I found it used for like $2.
Yeah. So I said
It's really cheap.
it's pretty inexpensive. It's been around a long time, and I don't know. I'm back to paper pages are nice. You know, you can make notes and when you're stuck creatively, it's a visually stimulating book, and I can't gather enough information on book layouts. Like I can't intake enough interesting book layouts for myself as a designer. So any book inspires me. How they handle type and headlines and subheads. It's all beneficial to me. Let's see. Okay, we will not be here on Monday, but we will be here the following Monday. If you are not in class and you have a question to ask, this is a discussion board here. Everybody knows how to use those. Everybody uses Facebook. Post a question. I am not the only one who answers the questions, by the way. Any of you can answer the question if you've got an answer for it. The problem is we're not online at the same time. So if you have this burning question and somebody happens to see it, please answer it. Okay? Let's talk about your first exercise will get graded this week. Let me see where I'm going from here. Any questions? Bless you. Any questions as I take a breath? No? Okay. Okay. Let's see what we All right, let's start here. You ask about a participation grade. This is kind of organized in a funky way. I will tell you, I will admit that. Mostly because I think when you get too fancy with organizing the pages, I think it's confusing visually. So I keep it simple. Here's your assignments, here's your exercises, here's your discussions, here's your quizzes, all right? And it's up to you to notice all the deadlines. Like I said, plug them all in your phone. Each of you has a calendar. Don't miss the deadlines. No late work. The first thing you're going to have that you're going to work on that should be uploaded by next Monday, even though we're not meeting, is creating a type archive. So being in a typography class, you're not going to be able to help it, but notice type in a way you never did before. You're going to notice beautiful type, ugly type, poorly designed type. Is your name Andreas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you like graffiti, you said?
No.
Who wrote the graffiti? Oh, tell me your name. Noel. Okay. I like graffiti. Like, I get all excited when I see graffiti. I get angry and excited. Like, I don't like tagging. I get mad. The walls to my house have been tagged, and I've been really upset about it. And it wasn't beautiful. Somebody paints some crazy, beautiful mural, which has some message I want to read. I might have a different attitude about it, okay? So what you're going to start to do is be in the world and look at type. You're going to read magazines. You're going to read digital web pages. You're going to read, bless you. You're going to look at your tickets for concerts. You're going to look at the designs on your cereal boxes in the morning. You're going to take some frozen dinner that you're going to want to microwave, and you're going to look on the back for instructions, and you're not going to be able to read how to cook it because the type's too small, and it's going to be green type on a red background, and you're going to wonder who the stupid designer was who wrote type with green type on a red background. So you're going to start to observe things that you wouldn't before. And that's what it's really all about. It's about starting to look at the world. So your first assignment is you're going to create a type archive. And almost weekly in the beginning of class, we start to work on these type archives. And it takes you to this external page again. And it takes you to the same page. Notice there's 1 through 6 submissions. So each time you do this, you're going to come back to the page, and it's going to be week 1, do the submission 1. Next time you come back to the page, you read submission 2. That's the next one. And you're going to upload those to different discussion boards, all right? And you get graded on it. So you need to follow the instructions for it. It's not designed to break your back. It's designed to help you create your own body of inspiration. That's what it's for. So for your first one here, creating a type archive, you're going to start to sharpen your design eye, and you're going to start to look at type and learn about designers, and you're going to look at different graphics, and you're going to start to accumulate your own type inspiration, and you're going to share it with a class. And that's part of our participation in the class. You'll come up here, you'll show us what you've shared and what you've learned, and you're going to inspire us. So it's fun to get something unique. So the first project that you're going to have for next week is you're going to find 5 different typographic images or designs from 5 different type designers. Okay? You could pick designers you're already familiar with. Taylor, you talked about liking Keith Haring. I don't remember him being a type designer. I remember him being a graffiti artist.
He was mostly like he captured action in his
Right.
art, so that's what like drew me closer
Drew you
to
in.
his work, but it wasn't so much the graffiti aspect. It was more so like the the figures that he would draw, they were very simple, but they have.
Kind of pictographs, kind of, yes, kind of just images, simple pictograph images, yes. Well, so what you're going to find, each of you, is going to locate 5 different typographic designers, all right? And you can choose designers you're familiar with, and you can choose designers that you find in a Google search, right? And you might get some inspired by them, or you might, sometimes I'll just look at images in Google and see what gets me all excited. And the purpose of this is not to satisfy the assignment. The purpose of this is to think about, as you want to be in the world, as you wish to design. Brock, was it you who said you're really clean and simple in your design? Who said that? Tell me your name again. Christian. Okay, so you might, for example, try to locate type designers who uses type in a really spare, minimalist way, right? That might be your focus. And then what you're going to do is you're going to create a Google Doc, and you're going to grab the image that inspired you and write a brief paragraph summarizing what you know about that designer or what inspired you. It's not an essay. It's notes that are written with upper and lowercase letters, full sentences, spelled correctly, your typographers, no typos. And you're going to create one Google Doc that you would upload to the discussion board. Is there anybody here who doesn't know how to use Google Drives or Google Docs? Okay, this is a tutorial on how to work on a Google Drive in case you don't know. Otherwise, what you'll simply do is come here and you'll create an active link to a Google Doc. And how you would do that is here. So I will, how do I enter this? Subscribe, read, upload. Oh, why doesn't it have a place for me to upload here? It should. Okay, that's not good, is it, John? Let's go to discussions. Let's go to my assignment, number 1. It's not active, is it? Here it is. Closed. All right, I will fix this so you can upload. Let's go to a different one. Obviously there's something wrong with that one. Good thing we tested it. You'll remind me, right? Let's do this one. That one's good. Okay, you click reply. And all of you knows how to make this an active link. Is that correct? No, that's why I'm demoing it then. So you type your notes here. You're not going to complete this inside this comment bar because you're going to upload your own archives that you have when you're not in Canvas, right? Everybody follows me? I can see you guys are already fading. Yes, I follow you, Vicki. No, I don't follow you. Okay. Okay. So here's our discussion board. Here's number 2. Well, let's pretend this is number 1. And we're going to call this type designers I love or don't love. Then you highlight this text and it's my website. You copy the URL, okay? You copy it for your Google Drive. Your Google Drive will have a URL for it. You know that? Everybody know that? No. Your Google Drive will generate a Google link. All right, well, let's do
Under sharing.
And you have to share it. Okay. Raise your hand if you're not familiar with Google Drives then.
I'm familiar with it, I've never done this, so.
Okay. So everybody else knows how to do this, is that right? Really? Okay, I'm surprised. Okay, Courtney, it's okay. So in my Google Drive, I don't see my Google Drive here. Let's show my full history. Here's a Google sheet, all right? Courtney, this is for you. If I wish to share it, it's the same thing, Google Drive, Google Doc, Google Sheet. I'm gonna have to unlock it, Courtney, and share it. So look up here, just so I know.
Yeah,
I know, okay, but, and then you can create a shareable link right here, and you click on the shareable link, and that's it. And I can copy the link, okay? And now I'm done. And I've made sure that it's not locked and it's shareable. For most students, no matter what you know, most students forget to unlock their Google Drives. So you'll upload the assignment to me, I'll give you a 0 because I can't see it because it's not shared. Okay? So you gotta share it. So now I've copied it, and now I'm back here in my Canvas world. I highlight the text right here. I go to this little chain link here. It says, what's the link you want to link this to? And I paste that sharing link. I insert links. And now when I want to grade your work, I just click on it, a new window is going to pop up, and I can grade your work. Okay? Yes?
The text that that's actually like the link text, is that just kind of like an arbitrary text? It doesn't really matter what it says, or like that text?
Oh, this text? No, make it something nice.
Okay, but
Like-
it doesn't
Like,
have to be a
hey,
specific-
Victoria, these are the most rock star designers I've found on the in the universe. Love them.
So we're just,
And that's random, obviously. Yes, if that was your question.
Yeah.
So we're just using the Google Drive link for that.
Yeah, that's all you do. You don't put anything else in here. You just give me the Google Drive link. Because what's going to happen is we're going to come back to class and I'm going to say, so who found some really stellar designers? And you guys are going to come up here and I'm going to sit down where John is and or behind him, and we're going to watch you teach us about designers you've learned about, because we all need inspiration. Pick who inspires you. It's certainly simple to say new type designers, but if you're not excited by them, why are you going to build an archive for yourself to refer to if you're not excited by them? So find what really gets you excited, because the idea is by the end of the semester, when I show you more projects down the road, you're going to say, oh, that's what I want to start to build my archives for. Okay? Everybody get this? All right, that's beautiful. Okay, so I'm not going to post that because you don't need our attendance sheet here. And we will, maybe you can go in and fix that one to make it shareable.
Try.
Okay. Okay. So we've discussed the discussions, which is due in a week. Let me show you some exercises which we'll show you those next week. We'll forget those. Discussions are good. Let me show you your first project, which you're going to get started on immediately. And this is where there is a huge scope of work to your project. Do you guys need a break? Do you want a 5-minute break, or should we just power through? I fear we're going to lose ground today. Can you power through? Give you a break? Who needs a break? One? Okay. All right. Yeah, I understand this. Take a break even if you stand up and stretch. I'm really going to give you only a 5-minute break, and I'm going to come right back to it if you miss it, okay? So by 22 after 3.
So I have a class that starts at 3:55. It's a lab class, so like I've already contacted my other teacher.
You'll be okay most of the time.
Okay. I just well now my question is how exactly would I sign up for both of those classes because of the time.
How do you sign up for both classes?
Yeah.
Are you signed up here?
Yes, I'm signed up for this one. I'm not signed up for the other one.
I have no idea. If they need a permission thing from your other instructor that you might be 5 minutes late or 5 minutes early, or I know why you bail on me or whatever, it's all fine.
Yeah. Okay. Because I've already
Go to administration and find out.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so
Yeah, I have one
Hey,
for this.
I'm in your next class, graphic design 2. Is that only available in the fall?
Yes,
Okay,
and it's very advanced.
sounds good.
Okay, good.
I haven't taken one yet, but I need to.
You should have one, and you should have,
Last time you said it was okay. Yeah, because I don't have another year.
Okay. You'll step up?
Hi. I was informed by someone that this class would cover a lot with Illustrator. It's probably misinformed from what was covered in the answer.
You get some Illustrator.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot in Illustrator.
Yeah.
It's not an illustration
It's not
class.
like
It's a typography
teaching, yeah,
class.
it's typography.
I mean, I'll demo stuff in Illustrator, but that won't show up it really shows up much later.
Is it gonna be like assignments are oriented around a certain type of program that you're gonna use? Like, let's say for example, you wanna make a book cover, but you say you want them to try and use Illustrator, it would be like that, or if you want them to specifically
We
use
tend
like.
to primarily use InDesign in this class. We do.
Yeah.
What is it you're trying to get at? What are you trying to find out for yourself?
I was trying to get a class to help me learn,
Illustrator?
yeah.
So that would be, isn't there like a class in digital drawing?
Yeah, I think I emailed it. That's when they just gave it, but it's cool.
You emailed the digital drawing person?
No, I emailed the teacher here and I asked like what class. I don't have any experience in Illustrator, and I was considering doing intermediate or advanced because I didn't know those. I never heard of Illustrator.
So what do you want to learn? What do you want for your world? What is it you want to do? Are you a graphic design major?
No,
No.
I just took this class because I thought it'd be really fascinating to learn like different fonts. Because I did small things, but I never did anything big enough. You know, I kind of just when I did fonts, I kind of just checked what was there, just to give the vibe, and I didn't quite understand it. I don't know.
And what's your major?
My major's accent, which is rare.
Well, that's okay. And do you like to speak?
Yeah, I kind of just like the thing is a lot of my experience was just me being myself.
Well, that's okay. It depends on what you want to do. This class is hard work.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get that impression yet,
Yeah.
but it is hard work. It is hard work. And you will come out of this class. If you wish to be a graphic artist, you're going to come out of this class as a rock star graphic artist. You will, truly. Because the level of skill that you will learn will make you really proficient. If you are a student who's dabbling and you just want to check it out, we primarily use InDesign. I think InDesign is like the world's best software on the planet. You can write all your term papers in it, you can spell check in it, you can make every professor fall in love with you because you know how to format things so it's readable and legible for them. I know that sounds silly,
No.
but it's not.
I've used it before when I had to do an assignment, but the teacher just, it was like in high school and he just like said, all right, make the program,
Right.
or like for the play, and
Right.
here you go. And I
Right.
had to like teach myself how to use
Right.
it.
And so we work primarily in InDesign. We have different projects. You can see them. They're very big. They're designed to be a professional designer.
I'm just a little bit worried because I've never really, when I did projects on my own, I never really focused on like the letters. I kind of just focused on like visual stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like worried like if I would do well because I've never really.
You'll do as well as you
Yeah.
can. There's no other way to tell you that.
Yeah.
I wish I could promise you that. All the classes I teach are hard. It's just me. But all the students who finish the classes I teach and work hard at them can get jobs as graphic artists when they're done. Like, that's just, it's how I wish, it's how I want somebody to be for me. Like, why waste your time in a class for 16 weeks without getting like a wow out of it, right? So, you know, called. I'll show you the next project we're doing, which is what we're gonna do in a few minutes. And, you have the flavor for it, maybe, and see. You could always have flavor, right? Is that what you're asking? Is that what I hear you asking?
Yeah, especially if you're following, like, I didn't know what to expect when taking this class, and I was kind of nervous, so.
Well, do what suits you. Do what takes care of you.
But thanks anyways.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering if I could join this class even though I haven't registered.
Yeah, you can. It's still open.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Because,
I don't think you need an ad code.
oh, I don't? Okay, because my counselor said I did. So,
You do?
I don't know. That's
All right, well, at the end of class, when we're done, I'll get you an ad code.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Actually, let me do it now because I have another class after this, which is gonna make things go screaming fast. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm a bartender.
And do you have graphic design experience?
Yes, I do. But it's fun. I used it a lot when I was younger. And then I had one class with James last semester.
Which one was it?
And it was basics. So it was
That'll be good. Okay. So, you have to add it, yeah? 0, so here, write this on your hand. Okay. Oh, you got it? 0756. That's your ad code. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
I noticed that this class had a prerequisite. I didn't take that class.
Which class?
The GD, oh, it's not on syllabus. The GD.
111?
Yeah.
It's okay. Do you want to learn InDesign?
Well, I don't know much about it.
Well, you're going to learn everything about it in this class. Okay.
Another thing is the efficient in Adobe Suite software.
Yes, you're going to learn to do that too.
Okay.
But you're going to need to subscribe to it. Okay, is that your question?
Yeah, is that like pay with money or?
You pay with a credit card, it's not free. It's only free if you go do it in the DAC lab or the library. Okay? Okay.
It's a pretty good deal though, right?
Yeah, it is a good deal. It is.
I got it for like a year.
There should be a class called Alternative
I know, you're going to teach it.
because really, all the work we do in here, you can do on free software.
I know. It's true. Okay, everybody, I'm going to get started again because we're going to run out of time.
That's more where our students are
I should, it's, what it, Brent, no, Brent calls it my Brent voice because I'll usually talk real quietly and then he doesn't hear me and I have to shout. I don't like shouting. Okay, ready? Focus up here because we're going to pack a lot into this right now. So your first assignment, which when we come back in 2 weeks, you need to be really far down the road, okay? So the design archives, easy peasy. It's fun. You sit in front of your computer or your television or you hang with friends and you find cool things. Not hard. Your quiz, you read a chapter in the book, you take your quiz, you're good. Not hard. This, like I said to you, your projects are very heavily weighted. They're big, they're many weeks, and there are building blocks to them, and you don't want to miss a moment, all right? Now, this is where you might find benefit if you want to be further along, going to the archives John demoed for you for the first and second weeks of a previous class, because there might be things demoed that we won't get to in our next half hour here, okay? So, the type specimen poster is your first assignment. And every assignment comes with a very elaborate page explaining all the parameters that are expected of you. Now, all the work, a lot of you are concerned about software. Hi, John. A lot of you are concerned about software, and the software that we're going to be working in this class entirely for this project, no Illustrator here. I can demo, actually that's not true. I might demo it down the road. But you're going to be working in Adobe InDesign. Is there anybody who's not familiar with how to access the applications on these computers? Okay, so I'm opening Adobe InDesign and I'm going to launch it. And here's the type specimen poster assignment information page. The objective of this project, oh, I hope I cleared names here. I didn't. John, I need you to do this right now, please. Can you go in here and delete everybody's name? Okay, so at the top of the page, go to Google Doc and just delete the names. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is so each of these images at the top are what's considered type specimen posters. The purpose of a type specimen poster is that the people who manufacture fonts, who make fonts, who get you to pay money for their fonts, because fonts are not free. There are some fonts that are, but with many companies like Adobe, you need a license to use the font. As a professional designer, I need licenses to use the fonts I use for my clients. So the purpose of this, a type specimen poster, is to show and showcase a font and what makes it beautiful. All right? It's just that simple. And there are different type designers who have designed the fonts who have shaped history through the fonts that they've designed. And this type specimen poster starts with a historical perspective. So the objective of this project is to communicate ideas visually and verbally. You're going to explore different typographic styles, and you will organize the page visually so it's visually interesting. Now, it says you can work in InDesign and or Illustrator. I want all of you, whether you know InDesign or not, to work in InDesign. It's going to make your life a lot easier, okay? Now, the idea is that we're going to go to this Google Doc that John is tweaking for us right here. It's a link. And there's a list here.
Are you logged in under your City College account?
You don't need to log in at all.
Yeah, it's asking for you to log in.
Log in under your own. You could still fix it. Yeah. There's a list of typefaces here. I don't know if you guys can see this because some of you in the back there, I think, might be struggling with the screen size. Can you see it now? Better? Better back there? Yeah. All right. So there's a list of fonts, and we've selected these fonts because they are the types of fonts that you get licensed for. They're professional fonts, and there's a classicness and a history to them and a history to the designers. So what you could do is look up the fonts and then fill in your name here, and essentially you've grabbed that font, and that's the one you're going to work on for your type specimen poster. Clear? That's clear, right? Okay. All right. So here, the purpose of a type specimen poster is to show the different qualities of a typeface. You need to show the entire alphabet, which is all of the characters of that font. And then you're going to show that font in different sizes. One size, which would be referred to as body copy. Body copy would be what you'd find in a textbook, for example. And as I said to you before, type specimen posters historically promote a new typeface. And so there is no other typeface used on a type specimen poster. So if the font you pick is Avantgarde, that entire poster is made out of Avantgarde. Okay? Everybody gets me? All right. And it's a pretty straightforward set of parameters, not design, but there's a pretty straightforward set of parameters of what engages somebody in a type specimen poster. And we'll review that. What you're going to do is this. Here's the elements for the poster. You need to have the name of the typeface. You're going to write a descriptive paragraph about the designer of that typeface. You're going to show the complete alphabet of all of the letter forms of that typeface, some of which might include characters. All letters and symbols are called glyphs. GLYPHS. Some of those are letters, A, B, C, D. Some of them are symbols like an ampersand, the and sign. I like your nodding, it helps me. Thank you. Everybody know what the and sign is, right? That's an ampersand. There might be other symbols, other glyphs like percentage signs. There might be umlauts if that's used in a different language, for example. And you decide what special characters you might choose to display. And then visually, you might decide that you want to highlight qualities of various characters to make this type specimen poster interesting, okay? And I'm not going to read this all to you now because we're going to run out of time, but you can read through this page to get inspired. The size of your poster, here's what stops everybody's heart. The size of your poster is 24 inches by 36 inches, 2 feet by 3 feet. You're making a poster bigger than those on the wall there. Nice. Exactly as big as that one. Okay, thanks for pointing that out. I forgot it was there. So what we do here, this is a really good example of like our class workflow, okay? So a student came to class, their type specimen poster was for Helvetica. They picked a color palette for their specimen poster. And we're gonna review all this stuff because there's no way I can pack this all and send you off for 2 weeks to magically come up with stuff, okay? So like, don't have a heart attack, right? Don't have a heart attack. All right, because you can't know what's expected of you. This project's really big, but I can send you off to work in different areas so you get your arms around stuff. So the first thing we did, all the posters are 2 feet by 3 feet. We print them 2 feet by 3 feet, bless you, by tiling them, which I'll demo how to do in a couple weeks, okay? So that's how they become that size, and you learn how to do it, so you don't have to pay for a poster printing. You can print them here on campus, okay? You all with me? But the first thing you do is you come in and we'll talk about a prototype that you will have designed, and we'll critique it. See all my marking here? Because each of you will bring yours in, we'll put them on the wall, we'll talk about it, and we'll decide what's successful and what's not. Because this isn't like study, 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 present your final work and you're either good or not good. That's not what this is about. This is about think it through, think it through, think it through, talk about it, figure out what works together, go back and do it, look at it, did it work? Tweak it a little so you get what is wonderful. Does everybody get that? It's like I said, your success is our success. My goal for all of you is that you go out in the world after being in this class and you get hired to be a designer. That's my goal. My goal is to give you practical skills that you really feel accomplished and you can be successful with. How to get this project started and off the ground is 1, you will sign up for your font that you want. And then, coincidentally, you'll research the designer. And here it tells you what kind of research you do for your designer. Where is this? Let's see. So step 1, here's your workflow. You select your typeface, you claim it by writing your name on that Google Doc. Next, in a Google Doc for yourself or in an InDesign document, because it's ultimately going to get transferred to an InDesign document. You're going to research your typeface. You're going to gather images and uses of your typeface. And you're going to learn everything you can about your typeface, your designer, and the usage of the typeface in the world. Okay? And you'll find it. Those fonts will have information for you. And then you're going to write a research summary, which is what you need to come back to class with in 2 weeks. And your research summary will include the name of the designer of that typeface. It'll talk about the history of the typeface and the relevant history of the designer. Okay. Here's the one that's a surprise to everybody. You're going to also research what's going on in the world when that typeface was designed, right? Like, why did grunge fonts come about? We don't have any grunge fonts in this list. These are more traditional eras like the Industrial Revolution or World War II or fonts designed with the invention of type, right? You're going to find that different things were happening in the world which influenced the way the type looked or how the type was used. And then the common context for the type usage. You know, like Dido is one of my favorite fonts, and it's a magazine font. Isn't that the one for Vogue, I think? I forgot. Vogue magazine. But anyway, they all have a specific intention and usage, and you'll share that. Now, here's the other component. As you research, you're going to start to develop, you're going to start to accumulate visuals of type specimen posters to inspire you, because why recreate the wheel when you can copy everybody else's wheel and add your own style to it? Because particularly if you're new to InDesign, don't recreate the wheel. Find something you love and emulate it. So you learn the software, you learn page layout, you learn scale of type, okay? You with me on this, everybody? And in your research, create a Pinterest board. Who does not know what the heck Pinterest is? Okay. Tell me your name again, I forgot. Miles. Okay, Miles, Pinterest. Give me a topic, Miles. Oh, come on. What do you love to do when you leave this class? What are you going to do? Okay, what do you want to eat? Burrito. Okay. Ha! So Pinterest is a way where people accumulate graphic images and they pin them like it's a bulletin board. And they call it pinning, but of course it's digital. And you accumulate these graphic images for things that you might be interested in, okay? So let's say, do you surf? No. Do you skateboard? Do you bike ride? Do you play tennis? Do you mountain climb?
I ride a bike.
You ride a bike? Okay. So, I'm picking this. Okay. There you go. Right? You get the idea. You start to accumulate images. Now, if I Google, for example, type specimen posters, which I think I've already done. Here's a whole Pinterest page of type specimen posters, right? And the advantage of it, to me, is you can select what you really like. And when you start to select them, you start to learn your own style. Like, I don't know, how many of you like this diagonal grid kind of thing going on here? Okay. So you might find that this Franklin Gothic and this Cable, these two fonts, they're both on diagonal grids. So you might start to accumulate type specimen posters and figure out, how am I going to design on a diagonal grid? Yeah.
I'm a little confused when you're talking about reinventing the wheel thing. Like if we don't know how to set up the page right off the bat.
I will demo that when we come back to class.
Okay.
I don't expect anybody, unless you already have InDesign experience, I'll try and get to it today. We're going to run out of time. You know, we're missing class for a week sets us back. It does. Because there's some things that if you don't know how to do it, I don't expect you to know. And there's a certain set of parameters that I expect of students in this class that I have to show you guys, okay? But you can sure grab inspiration. You can create a Pinterest page, right?
So would it be to start this project before the next class?
Yes, you are, but not in InDesign. I'm telling you how to do it right now,
Okay,
okay? So stay with me.
sorry.
It's okay. So, the steps that you're doing now before you build that in InDesign are you're gathering all your resources, your information, okay? So when you go to the assignment page, what do? Well, you're going to sign up for what font you want. If you don't know what the font is, look at them, Google them, see what they look like, right? Yes, sir.
When I click on the Google Doc link to see the spreadsheet of fonts to sign up, it says I need permission. And I
Yeah.
have to request access.
It's not shared yet.
It wouldn't let me in there.
Seriously? This is what you all have to do. You all can.
Change it from specific people can access to people with the link.
I don't know why that changed the other way. Okay, now try it. Okay. What's that?
I think it said we're gonna be able to do it, but not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. So you're going to sign up. So if you don't know what Adobe Caslon Pro looks like, you're going to copy that. You're going to make a new web page. You're going to Google it. You're going to go to Adobe Caslon Pro and you might look at images and say, oh, do I like the look of that font? Let me find out about it, right? All right.
Can multiple people have the same?
No, multiple people cannot have the same font.
I code weekend Adobe Cast.
Yeah. Yes, Courtney.
When I look at the example you have for the Pinterest board, they have different fonts. Is that okay, or do you want it to only be the font we chose?
Okay. So let me finish. Good question. Let me go back to it. So you guys, please don't, you know what, you guys are going to miss the moment. I got 12 minutes with you to get you started on what you need. So everybody, you're not going to lose the perfect font in 12 minutes, I promise you. There are many beautiful fonts. Okay. So stay with this right now so you know what to do in the next 2 weeks. So for your assignment, you're going to pick your font. You're going to read all the instructions here. Then you're going to make sure that you've done all the research on the font that you chose, which shows up here. And I don't care where you contain this. It could be a Google Doc or you can put it in InDesign if you know it. And you're also going to create research by gathering inspiration on Pinterest for for type specimen posters. And to answer your question, Courtney, yes, these are all different fonts. It doesn't have to be yours, no problem. All you're doing is looking at type specimen posters and seeing what they've got so you know what you like, right? So no, it can be any font on the planet, okay? Just for the inspiration of it. Do understand the parameters for our assignment are this, however. This texture in this Garamond poster, you see that hazy photograph in the image? You cannot do that. You cannot outline fonts. You cannot add photos. You cannot do special effects like emboss them. Like those of you who are Photoshop wizards in here, you aren't even touching Photoshop for this assignment. Photoshop does not exist to you, all right? Because I know that there's so many bells and whistles for special effects and drop shadows and embossing and beveling and everything, and that the idea of a type specimen poster is to find a letter form and find the beauty of that simple shape. Brock, this is going to float your boat, the simplicity, right? Right? Or Christian, sorry, I get you guys mixed up. Christian is going to float your boat, all the simplicity of it. So you decide what works for you. I mean, look how clean this Gil Sans poster is. It's very minimal. The other part is you have to show the font at body copy size, which is 9-point type on 11-point leading. We haven't even talked about what that means yet. But when you type term papers, they're probably 12 points. When you read a newspaper, if anybody picks up a newspaper anymore, it's 9-point type. So you're gonna have to make a paragraph on a 2-foot poster of itty bitty 9-point type and make it readable. And create a layout that isn't filled with type or dancing bunny rabbits or anything. It has to be type, this beautiful font that you want me to fall in love with, that I will fork out $300 to buy it. All right? Notice how if you look at this one here, because they took the lowercase f of Franklin Gothic and they made that F the same color as the background color on their poster, that the letter form disappears into the background. So you just notice the shapes. Or notice how they took an S here and they abbreviated it because it's so large, it bleeds off the edge of the page and you don't see the whole letter form. Notice how limited the color palette is. They have black and green and cream. That's it. They have orange and black and cream. They have, you may do opacities and change transparency of letter shapes. Okay. This here, for example, is the body copy. This here would be the different size, point sizes, and it tells us what point size it is. You must have the name of the font on your poster and the name of the designer. You need to show all the letter forms. This one wouldn't fly for you guys because that type's too big. That's not body copy type, right? You following me? Now, if you're really confused and you want more clarification, every assignment page in this course shows you, let's just go back to this. At the bottom of the page here, here's 12 examples of type specimen posters. Now, what you're looking at right now is what each of you will submit by the end of this project. As you accumulate all the information and research, as you start to sketch your layouts, as you develop color palettes, you will create something called a design brief. If you don't know what a design brief is, there's a link here explaining it, but rather than clicking on it right now, I'm going to just go back to this design brief and talk it through. Each of you will start for this class to develop your own style of design brief. Setting up the first one is time consuming and confusing if you've never done it. You'll create a title page, you'll decide what font you want to work with, and then you'll decide how you present your information. So page 1, title page, then you go down, page 2, here's the research I did. And notice it has a headline on the page, a subhead so that you divide your information, and it has columns to organize your text so it's readable, not too fat of a column, and body copy, that's body copy. Then they got inspiration. So how was Cooper Black used? Well, the Doors put it on it, used their logo, it's on an album cover. Well, here it's on a Beatles album cover, right? Historical research of the font. Then inspiration. What type specimen posters did I fall in love with? And it's not just an image of the poster, but it's a little blurb of, oh, that's why I like that one, right? Little captions. You with me? More inspiration, more captions. More inspiration, more captions. More inspirations. Then part of your assignment is, and for the class, you will always have this same format. So once you understand the project format, all project formats happen the same way. Research, inspiration, brainstorming and sketching, talking out loud about your ideas. You following me? Okay. So this student did little thumbnail sketches. A thumbnail sketch, for those of you who probably were in 110 or 111, probably 110, how many of you have done thumbnail sketches before? Okay. Thumbnail sketches are just little images thinking through how things lay out. Okay, this says, okay, I'm going to have a huge letter lead off the page. It's going to be a solid color, and I'm going to throw little letters in that empty negative space, and here's my body copy, and here's the name, right? You can all figure it out. Then the student did more thumbnail sketches, then honed in on what they loved. And this is all just defined in our assignment page. Then they did bigger roughs of 3 different ideas, not on the computer yet, right? Still not on the computer. You can all do this by sketching. And then I'll demo this next week because we only have 5 minutes left. You capture your color palettes of what colors you might want to work with and see how they look. And you share that. And then you start to develop digitally what you love. And then you try your different color palettes. This student was over the top. They tried a second layout, different color palettes. Yep, over the top. Third layout, different color palettes. Okay? I mean, this is quite gorgeous, I will admit, right? Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. And then she did this one because this is what she chose. And then notice after critiquing it in class, we talked about it again, right? Those were her revisions. And then for the final project, this is not right. This one's not right. I don't know why this, because it's so huge, the computer right now is freaking out. Because this is her final one that's 2 feet by 3 feet and it's not showing up. But what happens is you can spend time going to the bottom here and looking at anybody's project and seeing how they did it, seeing how they did their design brief. Everybody follows their own personal format. Once you've set up a design brief, here's their thumbnail sketches, and you photograph them, you upload them, right? Once you've set your design brief up for your first project, it's done. Then you just, your next project, same format. Next project, same format. You just pop in different words and different images, right? You with me? Okay. Color palettes. So I'm not going to talk you through all these, but as you can see, if you want to understand this stuff, go down here and you can look at past student work. As part of this project, you'll notice, so up to now for this project, if you do steps 1, 2, and 3, that's what you should definitely have by when you come to class. I'd like to recommend that you also have your sketches. So once you've got these examples and you've picked your font, sketch out what you think you might like yourself, your own sketches, okay? Everybody understand thumbnail sketches? Okay. And there we go. Then I will handhold you through. Notice I'm not asking you to do any InDesign software yet. For those of you, is there anybody who wants to know how to do a design brief beforehand in these next 2 weeks? Nobody? I'm sorry?
For InDesign?
Yeah, in InDesign. You can always do this. This is here. These are old videos. But if you watch this video, I'm going to turn down the sound. Yeah, this is an old video. But if you watch this video, you can scrub through, for example, and start to see how different things are built. This video demos how to set up, let's see, maybe it's at the end. I'm scrubbing, what, Sean?
You can also do a search, a term search.
On your website.
Well, and more in Google, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, if you want to go watch through some of these videos, they will show you how to set up design briefs and process books. Let's see what this one does. Yeah. You know, so like I said, you gotta slog through these things. This tells you what a design brief includes right here. But again, if you look at other student work and you emulate what they do, you're gonna be pretty on target. I mean, I think looking at somebody's successful example is probably the best way to start. So, just to recap for you guys. By next week, you will have taken a quiz. By next 2 weeks, you will have had a design archive built of 5 designers, type designers you like, right? And by next week, you will have steps 1, 2, and 3 here in this type specimen poster, which at least you should have that to share when you come back. And when we come back, we'll get on things. Yeah, Mary Kay.
Is there a place to submit this, or are we just bringing it in?
You could bring it in, you could upload it on a Google Drive.
Okay.
Just make sure you've got it available if you want to share it.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, when you do that Google Drive inspiration of the 5 designers, that is shared because it's a discussion board. But your workflow stuff, have a Google Drive that you can share. Those of you who know your way around InDesign and want to get started, I don't want to hold you back a bit. You could just crack open one of these things and go, oh, I want to do that, and you can get started. Obviously, the more work you do in the 2 weeks, the less work you have later on. Yeah, Courtney?
Do the InDesign art boards need to be a certain size?
The InDesign art board for the design brief, good question, should be what format you're comfortable with. I think it's easiest is 8.5 by 11. And I always think that I like things wide because our monitors are wide, not tall. So that's my personal preference, but here's a designer who always made hers 11 tall, 8.5 wide. Your type specimen poster will be 24 inches by 36. So when you do your thumbnails, make sure it's proportionate, 2 by 3, right? Any other questions? Okay, you guys survived. Have a good couple weeks, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay, so yeah, I've been so excited and terrified about class.